Time for another demo, where we will look at the code for the application module and its submodules. We'll also take a look at some of the management screens in a running instance of the application. So in the previous demo, we explored the account module. Now let's collapse that one and let's go to the other modules. Basically, as you can see here, most of the functionality will actually live inside of this app module. This is the module that once we have logged in, we will reach, let's say. So this is actually the app module. This is also the place where you will be writing your own functionalities, and therefore under app module, you will be writing most of your own code as well. Now under app, there are in fact three submodules: the admin, the main, and then the shared. The app component is in fact the root component for all things under the app module. Let's take a look first at the shared module. Under shared, we'll find, amongst others, the nav folder here. And in there, we'll find the sidebar menu component. This one will be the one that will be showing the items here on the left. Very soon we'll be adding our own menu item and we'll have to link that with a route. But we'll do that in the next module. Under the admin, we'll find a lot of functionality that has to do with, well, typical administrator tasks for the website. For example, under roles, we'll find the functionality that allows us to add and edit roles. In the actual application, we'll find all these administration functions under administration. For example, when I click here on roles, I will see the list of roles that we currently have. I can create a new role here. Let's call it sample role. I can also select the permissions. That's again another administration task that I can do. I can automatically assign permissions to this role so that when users will be assigned to this role, they will automatically get these permissions. And by the way, these permissions, I hope you remember from earlier in this module, are actually defined on the server side using the app authorization provider. Let's save the role here and then the role will be added. And all the functionality for that can be found here under the roles component. Next to roles, we can of course also work with users. Under the users folder, we'll find the component that allows us to do that. If we go here in the website again, we'll click on users, and we'll see that we currently only have an admin user. We can create a new user here. We can create a user by entering the data in all these fields. There's also a couple of options that we can enable or disable. We can also assign the user to a role, so by default this user will become a user because that role was set to default. And finally, we can also assign the user in an organization unit. We also have the ability to work with languages. Now, ASP.NET 0 allows me to add translations on the fly in my application. That's a very cool feature. Let me show that to you. So we go here to languages, and then as you can see, we have all the languages that are currently supported. You see the language can be enabled or disabled and can also be set to default. I can then click on one of the languages. I actually speak Dutch, so I can edit this language here. As you can see, I can now change these values, these translated values on the fly. Now while we're at it, we can also change other, let's say, visual things in the visual settings. Here we can change the colors, change the header bar, change the menu and the footer. These are basically UI settings that we can change. And you can also see that we can apply a different theme to our application. Under host settings, we can change other settings for the website. For example, we can change the logo, we can apply custom CSS. We can, for example, also from here set up how email should be sent. So as you can see, there's a lot of settings that you can work with, and all the code for these things can be found under the app module.